Welcome everyone to another TeleHealth Today meeting. In the past, we've done meetings from people that can help my practitioners grow. We have changed, we have shifted. This is the first meeting, and the meetings going forward will now be like this, where we're gonna feature a practitioner that is on the website, and they're gonna tell you what they do, how they can help people, and what you could expect if you were to book an appointment with them on the website. And then we're going to promote this video, put it on our website, and put it to other different platforms as well. And so without further ado, our very first practitioner speaker meeting, I have a great finance guy that can teach you all about money. With Joseph, take it away. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, James. Basically, my name is Joseph Lombardi. I'm the owner and founder of Ironhawk Financial. I've been in business for 21 years. I've won 27 industry awards. I also have 1,600 clients, over $1 billion of rollovers and protection in my strategies. I've also written 3 books that are all on Amazon. One is called Being Your Own Bank. The other one called There's a Better Way Than a 401k. And the third one is called Long-Term Care Without Long-Term Pain. I've also been featured in International Business Times, Business Insider, Market Insider. I was recently chosen to be on the cover of the top 40 advisors in the country under 40 years old. And what I'm going to share with you guys today is how to save yourself $1 million in taxes easily over your working life into retirement. And I'm also going to show you how to make more money historically than the S&P 500, and to save yourself a lot of money in fees that you're paying Wall Street. So I'm going to start by sharing screen. I'm going to get into my presentation. So this is called the tax triangle. There's 3 places to put your money from a tax standpoint. You have bucket A, which is called Tax Me 3 times. Bucket B called Tax Me Later. Bucket C called Tax Me Never Ever Again. In bucket A, you have your checking, savings, CDs, brokerage, money market accounts. These are vehicles that you don't get a write-off. Any growth you earn that calendar year is taxed, and then when you spend that money, you're taxed. So I don't know if you remember double taxation without representation, the Boston Tea Party, we learned about it in school. How our ancestors picked up guns, killed the British, poured the tea in the harbor, and said there's no way as Americans we're going to be taxed twice on one commodity of tea. When you take a look at your cell phone or your automobile, you're taxed up to 7 times on that asset. And over here, this is called Tax Me Later. This is where Americans end up putting a lot of their money. Not quite sure why, probably the ease of it and the media around it, like a 401k, a traditional IRA. A SEP if you're a business owner. These are vehicles the government says we're going to give you a write-off. You misinterpret the word write-off as savings. So you write off money so you can receive a savings, but all you're doing is deferring that tax to a later date. And then the mindset was, which has been proven to be false, is that when I hit retirement, I'm going to be in a way lower tax bracket. So all the money I wrote off when I was making a lot of money is now going to be taxed at a lower rate. That is false for a lot of reasons. The biggest one is what's going to happen is when you hit retirement and you're making a lot of money in your 50s and 60s, what you're telling yourself is you're going to reduce your tax bracket significantly and live in poverty. Well, I've been doing this for 20 years and I haven't seen that. I haven't seen somebody living on $100,000 a year, hit retirement, and then can survive on $40,000 a year. It doesn't happen. That's why nobody's retiring, because that logic makes no sense. Then if you take into consideration inflation and you take into consideration what we owe in taxes, where taxes have been and where they're projected to be, it's a very bad idea long-term to defer or get a tax savings today. And over here, this is called Tax Me Never Ever Again. This is where you have your Roth IRA, which most of my clients make over the $175,000 a year combined as a family. So they can't do it, but even if they could, they can only put $7,000 a year in. Another one is municipal bonds, but interest rates and inflation are inverse. So as interest rates go up, bonds goes down. So that only leaves something called cash value life insurance, which is known as the rich person's Roth, infinite banking, be your own bank. So why is this important? Well, let's say you're contributing $15,000 a year into a 401k, and let's say you do that for 30 years. Very simple math. So you put away $450,000, which is 15 times 30. And let's say you're a super high income earner. So Joe, I need the write-offs. Well, okay, let's talk about it. If you do the write-off, you're going to save 28% Fed, 6% state. So you're all happy because you saved a third for your tax liability in the calendar year that you file. However, if you didn't save anything, you deferred it, right? So you deferred $150,000, you're all happy. What is that $150,000 going to do over 30 years? It's going to grow. So you're basically growing the tax liability you're going to owe the government. So just taking federal tax into consideration, because I have clients across the country, some are in state tax-free zones like Florida. So per $100,000, assuming taxes don't go up, which you might hear me say that a few times, assuming taxes don't go up, you have to gross $138,000. So let's say you want to retire at 60, live till 90, $38,000, assuming taxes don't go up, and I'll prove to you they are going to go up. $38,000 times 30 equals 1.12 million. Even if you want to retire at 70, live till 90, that's still $760,000. So by receiving $150,000, assuming taxes don't go up, is going to cost you 1.12 million in tax liability. So when you just take the taxes into consideration, having a 401k and IRA long-term is a horrible long-term financial strategy. Then you take a look at liquidity. What do high-income earners, business owners, or just average Americans want? Is access to their money. Fun fact is 90% of people take withdrawals out of their IRAs, 401k, SEP, Simples, pension, deferred comp before they are 59 and a half, and the government knows it. And you don't take it when banks are lending and the market's up 30, 40% like it's been in the last 12 months. You take it when the market corrects, because then banks tighten, the money supply tightens, you get laid off, similar to 2008. Or if you own your own business, you make a significantly less amount of money, depending on what genre of business you're in. So if you had a 401k, let's talk about what over 30 million Americans did in 2008 and over 10 million Americans did in 2020. They took distributions out of their 401k during a down market. So per 100, the market lost 40%, being very kind to the 401k here. It was down way more in 08. They let you with $60,000 per 100. Then you had to pay a 10% penalty because I wasn't 59 and a half yet. So left me 54. Then you pay state income taxes, left you with 50. Then you had to pay federal income taxes, which left you with 36.5. And this doesn't include FICA, Medicare, unemployment, or Social Security tax, which drops you down under 30% of your money's liquid in a down market when you need it to pay your bills. Well, diversifying your liquidity is very important, as well as your taxation. So with this strategy, you're guaranteed 4%, 30-year average is about 9%. There's another strategy that has a 2% floor, but that strategy's been averaged over 15%. Tax-free, mind you. There's no market loss, there's no early withdrawal penalty, there's no state income tax, there's no federal income tax. Policy loans, low is 4%, and right now it's 5.3. You have access to 100% of your money compared to less than a third when you take the other taxes into consideration. Then you take a look at building a financial foundation. My father owned JV Lombardi Builders, multi-millionaire out of Fairfield, Connecticut, fell 3 stories off a ladder, lost everything. So what my strategy does is it protects you from the 4 things that are guaranteed to happen to you in life. Well, what if I live long, run out of money? What if I die early, leave my family emotionally scarred and financially scarred? What if I get disabled? Well, your quality of life is gone, and everything you've worked for up to that point is worthless. You're going to sell everything and live in a real low quality of life. Or what if I need long-term care? Well, you're going to have the government take everything from you, like what happened to my grandmother, who had a stroke, led to dementia. My grandfather left her $4.2 million. Within 7 years, all of it was gone to Ludlow Nursing Home in Fairfield, Connecticut. So having a foundation is very, very important. This strategy gives you life, disability, retirement income, long-term care, college savings account. This asset's non-disclosable on the fastest form and secondary form because of HIPAA laws. I'm sure most people understand with COVID. Your information is very private. Creditors cannot find it, so it's sue-proof. In some states, it's divorce-proof. It's a foundation for your money to make sure if anything happens out of your control, you're safe. Bank failures, right? We had Silicon Valley, we had Signature Bank fail in the last 12 months, trillions of dollars were lost. This strategy's been around 176 years, survived the Civil War, Great Depression, World War I, World War II, never reneged on any of its promises, always had the money there when you needed it. So it gives you a foundation. Then you take a look at diversifying. Can you put all your money here? No, you're not supposed to put all your eggs in one basket, but most clients do put all their eggs in one basket, a taxable basket, a high fee basket, an illiquid basket, a market correlated basket. So by having that diversification of where you're putting your money, let's say you can get half of your money in a non-qualified or non-tax later account and half your money in a qualified account or a tax later account, right? Social Security is taxable. 401k is taxable. Sale of your real estate is taxable, assuming you're going to downsize, you're going to pay capital gains on the difference, and 1031 the money to buy a smaller home. So you're going to have all these taxable events in your retirement. So by having a big pile of money is going to allow you to save yourself a ton of money in taxes. I'm talking millions with an S. So then you take a look at diversifying. Well, what if I just keep putting my money in my 401k, investing in my business, investing in my home? All those are all taxable. So let's say you do that, you don't care about taxes. The first $50,000 when you do start pulling money out is going to be taxed at 12%, assuming taxes don't go up. The next 50,000 is going to be taxed at 24%. By diversifying where you're pulling dollars from in retirement, the first 50,000 is going to be taxed at 12%, but the second 50,000 will be taxed at 0. Would you rather pay 36% per 100 or 12% per 100,000 in retirement? Silly question. Then you take a look at a Roth IRA versus a rich person's Roth. And no, you don't have to be rich to do it, but there's a lot of articles which I'll go over later on in this presentation. So a Roth IRA has a 59.5-year rule, 10% early withdrawal penalty. They have this thing called FILO, first in, last out. What that means is if I put in 10 grand, it's worth 20, and I need money before I'm 59.5, like 90% of Americans do. What I'm going to do is the government's going to say all of your growth has to come out first so that we can charge you a federal tax, a state tax, and a 10% penalty, as well as all the other tax goes to you as income. So this tax-free account for most people is actually a taxable account. Then you take a look at market risk for losses. You're not diversifying, meaning if the market were to have a correction or go down tomorrow, your home's going to go down, your business is going to go down, your retirement's going to go down. You don't have any diversification, right? So having a Roth IRA is a good tax diversification, but it's not a good market or liquidity diversification. And it's very expensive. 12B1 fee, Class A share fund fee, money manager fee, annual account fee. Now, with this strategy, whether it's whole life, IUL, doesn't really matter. There's no 59.5-year rule. There's no 10% penalty. There's no FILO. You have a guaranteed floor. If the market were to lose 10, 20, 30, 40%, you lose nothing in your account. And all you're paying for is the cost of the insurance, meaning you're getting something for the fees that you're paying. I mean, with a 401k and an IRA, you are getting something. You're getting the satisfaction. And I know you're paying for some schmuck's Lamborghini in Manhattan. That must feel really good. But at least with the fees inside of this strategy, you are going to be receiving life, disability, long-term care, critical illness, critical injury, tax-free, liquid, sue-proof, non-market correlated for losses. So when you take a look at option A, which most Americans do, and option B, which all my clients do, you can see why life insurance as an asset is a $1 trillion industry, but it's not mainstream because the average American doesn't invest in it because he doesn't know. So how could it be a $1 trillion industry if the average person doesn't know about it because all the ultra wealthy people do it? That's why. All your millionaires, all your billionaires, all your baseball players. Do you think Shohei Ohtani, who just got a $700 million contract to go to the Dodgers, is going to take his $700 million and put it in Bank of America that has a $250,000 FDIC insurance? No. They all put their money in overfunded life insurance because the ease of liquidity, can't lose, tax-free, sue-proof, divorce-proof in some states. So when you take a look at it, people get a misconception of the word death insurance and the word life insurance. They think life insurance is death insurance, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Death insurance is term. It's cheap, lasts 5, 10, 20 years. After that, you have nothing. You've thrown away tens of thousands of dollars if you're still alive. This strategy is different, builds a foundation for you. But it's not every company, every policy is amazing. 90% of life insurance policies as an asset are garbage. They're high fee, high commissionable. They're at a bad carrier. They don't have good riders. So you have to make sure when you take a look at these strategies, you're at the right carriers, you're at the right company, with the right riders, with the right build on how to build it. You're taking the right investments. And if you do that, historically, the last 20 years, you're going to average 15.88% tax-free on your retirement, opposed to earning about 7% taxable inside of your target fund, target 2050, target 2045. Those funds usually underperform the S&P 500. So you're better off just putting your money in a Robinhood account and just buying a SPY account, SPY. So when you take a look at it, this strategy is superior in every way. And why am I very confident that taxes are going to go up? Well, there's something called the USDebtClock.org. I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but this is the debt we owe as the United States of America. This can be found at USDebtClock.org. Our national debt right now is $34.5 trillion. Every citizen, which doesn't matter, citizens are non-tax paying Americans. So I don't know why they even have this here, but that would be like my 3 children. That would be my father in a nursing home with Parkinson's. They're not going to get their money from older people that are retired. So debt per taxpayer, these are people earning income. We owe $266,500 each, all 300 million plus of us. Then you take a look at Social Security at 26.7 trillion, Medicare at 40.9 trillion, U.S. unfunded liabilities at 214 trillion. It's hard to fathom that number. That would fill up all stadiums in the world, soccer stadiums, hockey stadiums, football stadiums, to the top with $100 bills. And it still wouldn't pay off the debt. So what people don't understand is that we are living in a super debt society. More money was printed in the last 3 years than in the last ever. We have inflation we had to worry about. So what people are doing by deferring your money, knowing that we owe all this money, and then history repeats itself, right? Here's the highest marginal tax rates from 1913, 2014 by US taxfoundation.org in the United States. I was born in the 80s. Highest marginal tax rate was 70% when I was born. When my brother, my older brother, was born in the late 60s, highest marginal tax rates were 91% here in the United States. We live in the second lowest tax environment since World War I, World War II, and the Great Depression. And as you see, we have these wars going on, right? We have a war in Israel. We have a war in Ukraine. Well, World War I, before World War I, taxes were around 7.5%. Within 48 months of the war, they jumped to over 77%. World War II, taxes were around 25%. Within 4 years, they jumped to 79%. What do you think may happen to taxes if a world war comes out? Well, taxes would jump to 80, 90%. So when you take a look at all the risks the average American is facing, we have the risk of BRICS, we have the risk taking over a petrodollar, we have the risk of inflation, we have the risk of a market crash, we have a risk of taxes going up. Why is it a good idea to handcuff your money for decades when the average American is going to be going into that pile of money and paying all those fees and netting less than a third of your value when you need it in an emergency? What my clients do is they take their money when there's an opportunity. They don't wait for an emergency. What would be a really good way to utilize an asset that's fully liquid? Wait till the market crashes, so I can buy anything I want at extreme discount. The entire market, real estate, cars, Pokemon cards, Joe Montana rookies, crypto, whatever you want to buy during a crash is going to be significantly on sale. Well, what my clients do is they leverage their retirement while they're still in their working years to buy other assets at extreme discount, hold on to them until they come back up, right? What comes up must come down. What comes down must come up. By doing that and not dollar cost averaging and just never touching your money ever, you should see a 2 to 4 times X on the value that you accumulated, not even talking about the taxes. So what I do is I mirror what successful, wealthy people do. I bring that to my clients. I am 5-star rated on Google. I am A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. So when you take a look, I've never lost a client $1 in 20 years. I've never charged a client $1 in 20 years. So when you take a look at having somebody who has lawyers, accountants, CPAs, attorneys, elder law attorneys, all within my company to bring value to my clients, you can see why it's easy that I have over $1 billion and 1,600 clients across the country. Some of them are Fortune 500 companies. But it's so vitally important to start a foundation so that you can protect your family, you can protect your business, you can protect yourself from market crashes, you can protect yourself from lawsuits, you can protect yourself from tax hikes or increases in the future. And if you don't have any of those protections in place, what is going to happen when taxes shoot up? What is going to happen when the market were to go down? What would happen if we had, like the S&P 500 had, from 1999, where it was $17.50 a share, and in 2011, it was $17.50 a share? What if you had 12 years where you didn't earn a penny? And then if you add how much people took out of their accounts in 2001 and 2008, you take a look at the 12B1 fees, Class A share fund fee, money manager fee, annual account fee. You take a look at all that, it took you 15 years to make nothing. But every investment advisor is going to say, what? You average 10%. Dave Ramsey says 12. So I don't know how he's not sued out of his mind. But when you take a look at these people telling you for entertainment purposes, you average 10, 12%, go to your 401k, do the last 5 years. Is it double digits? No. I can show you strategies where my clients in the last 20 years have averaged 15.88% in writing by a 176-year-old AAA rated mutual investment insurance company, third oldest in the world. So when you take a look at what the average American is doing and what the ultra wealthy are doing, it's not even close. That's why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, because they do what everybody else does, and the wealthy do what not a lot of people know about. And well, why isn't this mainstream, Joe? Well, have you ever seen an investment commercial? Have you ever seen an insurance commercial? Have you ever seen how different things work on TV? No, it's against the law. But they can show you cigarettes, they can show you alcohol, but they can show you guns, but they cannot show you investments because IRA, 401k, simple pension make the government so much money. Because there's 3 parties in a contract in a 401k or an IRA. You have you, Wall Street, and the government. If you add up all the fees you're paying Wall Street over 3 decades, they make almost just as much money as you do on your money. Then you add up all the taxes you pay the government, they make more money than you do. Meaning, if I saved up $1 million in my 401k, you're not a millionaire. Dave Ramsey may say you are, but you're not. Because if you were to liquidate that money, you have about 580 grand. 580 grand is not a millionaire, because you're holding on to $500,000 per million of the government's money that they will collect, whether it's upon death or upon distribution in your lifetime. So having this set up is so vitally important that most of all of my wealthy clients do this strategy, because they understand time goes by quick. They understand taxes aren't going down. They understand the market can't go up forever. They understand that fees keep going up because of inflation. So when you understand all these things are easily to understand in your mind, most people are just too lazy or busy to worry about it. They just click a button at their employer and they just take their money away. when you do it this way, you should easily see 2 to 4 times higher returns historically, because you're able to utilize your retirement. And don't just take my word for it. Here's articles from Forbes. Forbes has, I follow Forbes, very good resource of information. This is called The Rich Person's Roth for the Most Tax-Free Income, written by a certified financial planner. What did he have to say? Well, I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but I'll just read one half of the paragraph. One tax minimizing strategy is a Roth IRA, one of the most popular retirement accounts. This type of IRA offers tax-free income. Sadly, many people in high tax states have discovered they earn too much money to contribute to a Roth IRA. However, the rich person's Roth can be the key to unlocking more tax-free income in retirement built on the back of cash value life insurance. This is Forbes. This isn't buylifeinsurance.com. And then you take a look at another article in Forbes. This one is written by Ed Slott, a certified public accountant. Wow, an actual accountant is telling you that life insurance is a really good idea. That's weird. He can't even sell it and make any money, right? So I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Read you one small paragraph. Fees are another factor that can significantly impact your savings. The various fees on accounts can be staggering. They include but not limited to brokerage fees, commissions, mutual fund fees, expense ratios, sales loads, management, advisory fees, 401k fees. Some of those fees they don't even have to show you. Yes, you can Google that. So when you take a look at Forbes is telling you, and me personally, ratings-wise, companies I use, my ratings, here's my company. I've owned it, been in business 21 years, A+ rated. Take a look at my Google rating. That's my calendar. Take a look at articles I've been in. Here's my Google rating. I am 5-star rated on Google. You take a look at books I've written on Amazon, Being Your Own Bank. How about Long-Term Care Without Long-Term Pain? I have another book, There's a Better Way Than a 401k, right on Amazon. I've been featured in International Business Times just last year, not even 12 months ago. How Americans should diversify their approach. I was featured in Business Insider, Market Insider. When I won the top 40 under 40, they put me on the cover. So when you take a look at who to trust, finance is very tricky. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of bad people out there that want to take advantage of your ignorance. What I do for my clients is very simple. I build a foundation for you. I build your own bank for you. I save you money in taxes. I protect your family. I protect your business. I make sure if anything were to happen out of your control, financially, you're fine. And that's very important to do. It's very important to have a strong foundation on your financial plan. What most people do is they put a blindfold over their eyes and they just shoot darts everywhere. Oh, I hope crypto hits. Oh, I hope this real estate rental property doesn't have a deadbeat tenant in it. Oh, I hope this stock I picked works. That is your higher level when it comes to investments. Most people, what they do is they skip the foundation because it's not sexy. It's not something that you talk about the water cooler. Oh, Apple's up 200%. Tesla hit $300. Did you see Nativia hit $400 a share? I bought it at $50. I'm up 900%. It's not something, oh, I have $3 million of life insurance that's been averaging 12%. It's not something that people talk about. But it's vitally important to have as your foundation so that you can protect yourself, leverage, right? How is it that Elon Musk or Warren Buffett pay zero taxes, but they make billions of dollars a year? They don't ever question that or think, how is that, right? Everyone knows the Donald Trump taxes, right? Why is it that billionaires don't pay any taxes? Because they don't make income. They leverage assets. They go to the bank and say, hey, I got $1 billion. Give me a couple $100 million. They know with inflation, an asset is going to keep growing, which is easily going to cover the loan interest on $200 million. And they don't have to pay a penny of taxes. It's the same strategy here. You build your own bank. You leverage your own money. And the coolest feature of all of this is when you pull money out of your own bank, it's still there earning interest. There's something called non-direct recognition. which doesn't recognize the loan. Meaning, I dumped 100 grand in there. I pulled 90,000 out to buy a piece of real estate that's earning me 10% ROI. Your 100,000 is still in the market because it's non-directly recognized when there's a lien or a loan against your money. You're actually taking a lien or a loan from the general account of the investment and or insurance company. So now you can earn 2 streams of income on $1. Examples: had a client downsizing, 68 years old, dumped in 1.1 million into my strategy, pulled out 700 grand the next day because he was buying a cheaper house. He's still earning interest on 1.1 million, even though there's like 350 grand in there right now. So if the market gets 10, 15%, you're going to earn 150 grand on 400 grand that's in there. That's like a 40% rate of return because it's non-directly recognized when you take the loan out. So that's pretty much my strategy. I can also take your existing qualified money, make sure you can't lose from that. That's been averaging 14% through option contracts. But I don't want to give you guys way too much information. So if you want to work with me, we set up a time on my Calendly. It's absolutely free. I learn about you, learn about your goals, your assets, your liabilities. I learn about your time horizon, your risk tolerance, what you care about. Do you have a spouse? Do you have children? Do you care about leaving a legacy? Then I build you a custom plan. Take that custom plan and I put it in place for you. I'm your guy for the next 40 years. I'm 39 years old. I'm not like 60 with gray hair. So I'm going to be there when you need me. In your 60s, most likely. Not. I have 2 boys and a girl. They both all want to work for my company, and we'll teach them exactly what I do as well. So it's some people want to make sure that, hey, if I set this plan up with you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to still be there. I have an over 20-year track record of being there. So the bottom line is I can help you in a lot of different ways. And it's very important to mitigate, there we go, risk and make sure that you are safe financially and your family is safe. Something happens out of your control. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll jump in and let me say thank you. That was a very good presentation. At TeleHealth Today, we don't hire practitioners, so we can get people that I don't necessarily even believe in because the ratings of the people are what's going to give them the reputation. But I just want to say I do believe in this. I have studied in a lot of this, and this is great stuff you're teaching us. So thank you. My one question would be, who is your ideal customer? For someone watching this, is it someone with $10,000 in the bank, or what is it, what's your ideal? If they have this, they need to talk to you now.
So there's a lot of people in my position that have their nose in the air. They only work with people that have $1 million. I like to work with as many people as I can. I'm very blessed. My book of business pays all my bills. I don't have to work anymore. I technically could have been retired at 35 years old if I wanted to be. But I enjoy this. Gives me life, helping people. I wish somebody did it for my father who fell. I wish someone did it for my mom who died at 52 years old, so I was living from alcoholism with no life insurance. Wish someone did it for my grandmother who lost $4 million to a nursing home. She didn't plan right. So this is more of a passion for me. So I'm looking to help as many people as I can. On the rollover end, this is not my minimums. These are minimums by the carriers I use. It's $25,000 minimums for the rollover strategy. For a new plan, I have clients who go as low as like $300 a month to start. Whatever you put in your Roth, which is $500 a month, that's probably my average lower client. I do have clients who give me $50 million a year and know I'm not only going to work with people at that level. It's all based on what your goals are. And that's pretty much, what I just want to help people at the end of the day, to be honest.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
And just to sum that up, a short answer to my question would be, anybody that has a little bit of money that wants to plan for their future, you're really the guy to talk to.
Yeah, of course, I want to have $100 million. I make more money because it's a percentage thing. But at this point in my career, I'm not really in it for the money. Do I like making money? Absolutely. But is that my main intention? Main intention is to protect you, your family, save you a boatload in taxes, and for you to tell all your friends. That's how I've grown so fast in the last 20 years.
That's good. Thank you. That's good for me.
Well, nobody has any other questions. If you want to contact me, oh, Alexander, how are you, sir?
Very good, Joseph. Great presentation today. My question, do you happen to know if this is applicable or at least some of it to non-American citizens? Are they eligible?
I wish. So you need to be a U.S. citizen in order to do this. You need a social security number for anti-money laundering purposes.
Okay.
So because of AML, you know, I have in the past worked with some people with green cards, but it's very difficult. You need to fit a certain criteria to qualify. You could be dual citizenship. I have some clients that are dual. They just need to have some sort of social security number so the government has some sort of anti-money laundering protection. So you're not laundering like drug money or child, money. So you have to be a citizen for 99% of this, the ways to get in. So yeah, so I know that I have a big clientele that want to work with me because I work in the construction industry, and a lot of them are illegals, and they got millions in cash, and they're like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "You could put it on a family member if they're a U.S. citizen, but directly having your name on it, you can't." So, another question is, well, what if I'm unhealthy? Well, you can always put on your spouse, put on your brother if you trust. You put on somebody you trust to have the account in your name. But yeah, if you don't have anybody in the States that you can trust with your money, then it's really not a viable option, this strategy.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah. So if nobody else has any other questions, then basically I can be found at www.ironhawkfinancial.com. It's my website. You can go in there as a contact us form, fill out your name, your email, your phone number. I'll reach out to you personally, or my assistants will, but it's usually me unless I get too busy. And yeah, I meet with you, do a fact finder, and I build you custom plans. And if you like it, everything's done online. That's how I'm able to grow across the country. So if nobody has any other questions, I appreciate everybody's time here. And again, www.ironhawkfinancial.com. If you want copies of my books, just email me at joe@ironhawkfinancial.com. I'll send you all the articles we went over today. I've written 3 books. I'll send you them all in PDF form for free. Just write me free books to joe@ironhawkfinancial.com. I'll send you books. There's no obligation to meet. My Calendly link will be there if you choose to book, but I will not harass you or anything like that. So again, appreciate everybody's time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to helping who needs my help.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Yes, sir. You as well.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. So just a reminder, our remaining audience out there, Joe is one of the many people that you can find on telehealthtoday.net. And if you want to talk to Joe, if you want to dig in, if you liked what he had to say, go to telehealthtoday.net and book an appointment with Joe. He's on there. Thank you all for being here. And with that, we conclude this week's Monday meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I can stop the recording, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.